Welcome back to On the Same Page. We are on Daf Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. That's 11a of Maseches Taanis. And we are on the second line on the page. It begins with Rav Papa. So last week at the end we discussed, the Gemara had said that when a person travels, so they should ration their food the same way that they would in the time of a famine. And the Gemara had two different reasons for this. The Gemara said that here in Babylonia, in Bavel, they said the issue was the mayana, the stomach, that by eating and then exerting effort, one would end up with stomach issues. So don't eat too much when you're traveling. And in Eretz Yisrael, they had a tradition that the reason was because of just rationing food. You don't know when you're traveling when your next meal will be, so you have to be careful and ration your food. So the Gemara says here, Rav Papa kol parsa uparsa achil chada rifta. That Rav Papa, every parsa that he would go, which is a distance, but it wasn't, so much, he would eat another loaf of bread. So he was eating quite a bit. He didn't seem to be observing this halacha or this recommendation to ration while traveling. Why? The Gemara explains, Kasavar mishum mayana, because he held that the issue was because of stomach issues. So don't travel because you're going to have stomach issues. And he didn't have stomach issues from traveling, from exerting effort. Why not? Seemingly he had a strong stomach and it wouldn't bother him. So therefore he could eat while he was traveling. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Rav. Rabbi Yehuda said in the name of Rav, Kol hamariv atzmo b'shanei ravon, a person who literally starves themselves, who rations their food during a famine, nitzol mimisa meshuna, will save themselves from a strange death. Basically, any time a person dies that's not from sickness or in bed, that's referred to as misa meshuna. Rashi gives examples of a person dies by sword or by famine. Basically, a death that's not just lying in bed, that's called misa meshuna. And if a person rations their food, starves themselves during a famine, eats just enough to get by, so then they will they will save themselves from, if there was, a decree on them to die, a misa meshuna, one of these different kinds of deaths, this will save them. Shenamar, because the verse says, in Iyov, it says, Bara'av Padcha Mimabas, that in a famine, he saves you from death. Now, the Gemara points out that what kind of death is it talking about? If it's talking about death by famine, by starvation, so it should have said, the Gemara says, Meira of mi baile. It should have said, from starving, Hashem saves you. Or from starving, Hashem saves you from death. Why does it say, in starving, bara of, in famine or in starving? Now, Lahachi Kamar says the Gemara, this is what it's telling you. Bischar shemarev atzmo b'shanei ravon, as a reward for the person starving themselves during the times of hunger. And again, we don't mean starving themselves to death, but rationing and not eating other food, perhaps sharing it with others. Nitzol mimisa mashona, then Hashem redeems you from death, from a different death, from a misa mashona, if a person had a strange decree, a decree of a strange death, meaning a different kind of death on them. So rationing during a time of famine saves them from that decree. Amar Reish Lakish said, Asar la'adam l'shamish mitaso b'shanei ravon. It is forbidding for a person to engage in sexual relations during a famine, because people are hungry. We don't want to be producing more children during that time. Shenamar, where do we see this? Because it says, Yosef yulad shnei banim b'terem tavo shnas harav. The Torah says that Yosef in Egypt, he had 2 sons born to him before the famine came. So Why? Why does the Torah make sure to point out it was before? Because he wouldn't have had children during a famine. That's ill-advised. So Reish Lakish says that not only is it ill-advised, Reish Lakish says it's forbidden. Tana, but it was taught, that people who don't have children have not yet fulfilled the mitzvah of Peru Revu, of being fruitful and multiply, are still trying to have children, so then, in order to fulfill that mitzvah, they can cohabit, they can have relations even during a famine. Tana Rabban and the rabbis taught, Bizman she'Yisrael shruyin b'tsar, at a time when the Jewish people are in a difficult situation, in a state of distress, some tragedy is befalling them, upirish echad mehen, and one person separates himself. He leaves the community, he goes and hides in his house, whatever it is, he doesn't connect, he doesn't involve himself in the pain of the community. Bain shnei malachei asharis shemelavim l'adam, two angels that escort a person come, umenichin lo yedeyen al rosho, and they put their hands on his head, ve'omrim, and they say, Peloni zeh shepirish min hatzibur, this person who separated himself from the congregation, al yireh b'nechmas tzibur, he will not witness the consolation of the congregation. Meaning we know that after every tragedy there will be a consolation. This person who's separating themselves from the tragedy of the community will not see that consolation, seemingly will not live to see that. Tanya idach, we have another brisa. Bizman she'atzibur shari b'tzar, at a time when the congregation is soaked in, is deep in pain, in a difficult situation, al yomar adam, a person shouldn't say, Eilech lebeisi, I'll go to my house, ve'ochel, ve'eshteh, and I'll eat and I'll drink, v'shalom alecha nafshi, and, peace be on my soul. I don't have to be involved in this difficult situation. I'll go home and enjoy myself. So a person shouldn't do that. V'imosekain, and if he does, Allah v'omer, about him, the verse in Yeshaya says, V'nei sason v'simcha, person will say, let's have sason and simcha, celebration and joy. Harog bakar v'shachotzon, we'll slaughter cattle and sheep. Achol basar, we'll eat meat. Ushtos yayin, and we'll drink wine. Achol v'shasa, we'll eat and drink. Ki machar namos, because tomorrow we die. So he ignores the difficulties, and he chooses to just feast and party, because tomorrow we die. So Maksiv Basrei, what does it say in the next verse about such a person? So the next verse says, V'nigula be'oznai, Hashem tzivakos, the Navi, the prophet says, and Hashem revealed himself to my ears, Im yechupar ha'avon hazeh lachem at temusun. If this sin will be, meaning this sin will not be atoned for until you die. So that we see that a person who separates himself from the pain of the congregation says, I'll go home and feast, and ignores what's going on. So about him, the verse continues and it says that Hashem tells the prophet, tells the Navi, this will not be atoned for until you die. Says the Gemara, Ad kan midas beinanim. That which we just talked about, someone who separates from the tzibur, from the congregation, that's even midas beinanim. That's not yet a rasha. That's a middle of the road person. Ava b'midas rishayim, but you want to know what a real rasha is? A real rasha says, Maksiv, what about him? What does it say? He says, Esayu, let's come, ekcha yayin, let's take wine, v'nispa sheichar, and we'll fill ourselves with beer. V'haya kazeh yom machar, and tomorrow will be like today. So the rasha doesn't even say, I'll die tomorrow. He doesn't even see what's in the future. He says, tomorrow will be like today. That's even worse. We'll celebrate today and we'll celebrate tomorrow. He doesn't even acknowledge that death lies ahead. Maksiv Basrei. What does it say about him. What does it say in the verse after that? It says, "Hatzadik avad ve'ein ish sama lev." The tzaddik is destroyed and nobody pays attention. Ki mipnei hara nesaf hatzadik, because it's because of evil that the tzaddik has been taken. So this is the result of this person who says, "I'll drink wine and I'll get wine and beer and I'll party and then I'll do it again tomorrow." He doesn't even acknowledge death. What happens? The tzaddik is lost and nobody pays attention. Because of evil, the tzaddik was taken. So Rashi has two interpretations of what this verse is, what the Gemara is bringing this verse for. The second one is the more simple one. Rashi says that as a result of the evil of this first person who said, I'll party and then I'll party again tomorrow, so the tzaddik dies because HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want the tzaddik to daven for that person. So it's probably a difficult concept to grapple with, but in terms of what it's saying, it's more simple. As a result of this Rasha's actions, the tzaddik will die, so the tzaddik cannot daven for the Rasha. Now, that's Rashi's second interpretation. His first interpretation, I believe he's saying that we're referring to this Rasha now as the tzaddik, meaning a tzaddik who doesn't pay attention to the tsar, so then he'll be taken away. Because he didn't have. Why is the tzaddik taking, even though seemingly he's righteous? Because he didn't feel the pain of other people. And so he's a righteous person, but he's not so righteous apparently, and he acted like a Rasha, like a wicked person. And so that you see this in these two verses that a person says, "I'll eat and drink, and then I'll do it again tomorrow." So even if he was normally would have been considered a tzaddik, his life is taken from him. So what should we do? Ella, so rather yitzaer adam imatzibor. A person should suffer with the tzibor, with the congregation, should empathize. Shekematzinu b'Moshe Rabbeinu, because we find that by Moshe Rabbeinu, shetzir atzmo ima tzibor, that he did this. He suffered along with the congregation. Shenamar, as the pasuk says, when the Jewish people are fighting Amalek, Moshe is standing with his arms in the air, and as long as his arms in the air, the people are winning. And it says, Videi Moshe kevedim, and Moshe's hands were very heavy, it was hard for him to keep them up. Vayikchu even, vayasimu safta, vayeshev alel. And they took a stone, and they put it under him, and he sat on it. So Moshe has to sit down. And what does he sit on? A stone. Ask the Gemara, V'chilo hayo lo Moshe kar achas o keses achas. Did he not have like a pillow or a cushion to sit on? Vayeshev alel. Why does he have to sit on a stone? Elakach amar Moshe. This is what Moshe said. Ho will v'Yisrael shruyin b'tzar, since the Jewish people are in pain, are suffering, they're in war right now. Af ani eya iman b'tzar. I'll also be in suffering with them. I'm not going to sit on a comfortable bench right now. I'm going to sit on a stone if I need to sit down, because my people are fighting. They're in distress. So I am with them in that distress. B'chol hamitzar atzmo im hatzibur. And says the Gemara, and a person who does empathize and feels the pain of the congregation, Zoche v'roeh b'nechmas tzibor, will merit to see the consolation of the people. B'shema yomer adam. Now maybe a person will say, Mi meyid bi, who will testify what I'm doing? If I'm at home, if I'm suffering along with the tzibor, I'm not suffering, who will know? Says the Gemara, Avnei Beiso Shel Adam, Vikaros Beiso Shel Adam Idimba. You know who will testify? The stones of your house and the beams of your house, of a person's house, will testify whether they suffered along with the congregation. Shenamar, as the pasuk says in Chabakuk, the pasuk says, Ki even mikir tizak, the stones from the walls will cry out, V'kapayim me'etzianena, and the wooden beams will answer. that they will bear testimony on how a person acts in their house. Debei Rabbi Shila Amri, in the Beis Medrash of Rabbi Shila, they said that Shnei Malachei Asharis HaMalavim Lo La'adam Hein Me'idin Olav. Those two angels we were talking about before, the two angels that escort a person, they will testify about the person's behavior. Shenemar, as the verse says, Ki Malachav Yitzav Elach, because his angels he will command to you, you will have these angels escort you, they will be the ones to bear testimony. Rabbi Chidka says, Nishmasel Shel Adam Hi Me'id Olav. A person's neshama will be the one, a person's soul will bear testimony against him. Shenemar, as the pasuk says in Micha, it says, Mishocheves Chekecha Shmar, guard yourself from that which lies in your bosom, meaning your soul. Shmar Pischei Picha, guard what comes out of your mouth. You have to guard what you say from that which lies in your bosom, meaning, according to this interpretation, your neshama. And the Gemara is saying it's not just what you say, but how you act and whether you empathize with the congregation. And some say that a person's limbs will testify about him. Shenamar, as the pasuk says in Yeshaya, it says, Ve'atem edainu Hashem, you are my witnesses, says Hashem. So you yourselves, your very own body, will testify about whether you empathized with the congregation. Okay. Now the pasuk describes HaKadosh Baruch Hu as Kel Emunah Ve'ein Avel. There's a pasuk towards the end of Sefer Devarim. It says he's a trustworthy God, Ve'ein Avel, and he has no iniquity. What is that referring to? Kel Emunah, he's a trustworthy God, meaning Kashem Shenifraim Min HaRishayim LeOlam Haba Afil Alaveira Kala. Just like Hashem exacts payment on Rishayim in the next world, even for the smallest sin, the smallest transgression, but there will be retribution, she'osin, for the sins that they do. Kach nifraim min tzadikim ba'olam hazeh. So too Hashem will exact retribution even on the righteous, but in this world, al aveira kala she'osin, on a small aveira that they do. So Hashem is a trustworthy God. He pays back he rewards mitzvahs, as we'll see in a moment, and he punishes for aveiras, for sins. But the Gemara is saying he punishes the Rishayim in the next world, but for the tzaddikim, for the righteous, in order that they should have a good experience in the next world, so they get punished, they will suffer in this world. But then it says ve'ein avel, there's no iniquity, there's no mistakes. Just like Hashem pays, rewards the tzaddikim in the next world, afil mitzvah kalash osin, even for the smallest mitzvah that they do. So kach misham and schar l'rishayim ba'olam hazeh. So too God rewards the Rishayim in this world, afil mitzvah kalash osin, even for the smallest mitzvah that they do. Hashem always rewards for every act, every Kel Emunah, he's a trustworthy God. Ve'ein avon, there's no iniquity. He will punish that which deserves to be punished. He will reward that which deserves to be rewarded. And then the pasuk says, Tzadik v'yashar hu. He is righteous and straight. What is that? So here it says Amru b'shas. Some change it to Melamed. It teaches me. Shebeshas petiraso shel adam lebeis olamo, when a person dies and is taken to Beis Olamo, to the next world, kol maisav nifratim lefanav, all of his deeds are laid out before him. Ve'omrim lo, and they say to him, they take him up to the heavenly court. He watches a video of all his deeds, or a list of all his deeds. So, and they say to him, Kach v'kach asisa b'makom ploni b'yom ploni? Did you do this and that on this certain day? V'hu omer hein. And he says, yes, right? And we see what we did, and we admit, yeah, we did that. Ve'omrim lo chasom, and they say to him, sign. Ve'chosim, and he signs. Shene'amar, or it could be signing is with a signet. Shene'amar, as the pasuk says, pasuk is in Eov, it says, Biyad kol adam yachsom, by the hand of all he will sign. Ve'la'od ela shematzdik olav esadin. Not only that, but we are matzdik the din, meaning we say Hashem is true and righteous. Ve'omer lahem, and he says to them, Yafeh dantuni, that you judge me properly. A person will say, it's fair. L'kayim hashenemar, and that's a fulfillment of the verse in Tehillim that says, Leman titzdak bidvar, Leman titzdak bidavrecha, in order that you will be titzdak, you will be righteous, but we, like we said, tziduk hadin, where you say God is righteous, bidvarecha, with your words. So this all is coming to the Gemara brought it in for the end of that verse that said of Kelam and Avel. God is trustworthy and there's no iniquity. Tzaddik v'yasharhu, he's a tzaddik. He's righteous, and straight. He's fair and straight. And to explain that, the Gemara brings this idea in that when a person goes up to the heavenly courts, they will see their whole life before them, all their deeds, and a person will say, yes, this is what I did, this is what I deserve, and Hashem is tzaddik, Hashem is righteous, Hashem is true, Hashem is fair. Amar Shmuel. Shmuel said, Kol hayoshev b'Taanis nikra choteh. A person who fasts is called a sinner. Savar ki hai Tana. Shmuel said this because he held like the following Tana. The Tanya we learning a brisa. Rabbi Elazar Akfar b'Rebbe Omer. Rabbi Elazar Akfar, the son of Rebbe, said, I guess so. Why does it say about a Nazir? A Nazir is someone who, takes an oath not to be a Nazir, which includes not becoming tamei mace, right? Not touching or coming in contact with the dead, growing out one's hair, and refraining from drinking wine or any grape products. So why does it say at the end when he brings that the Nazir at the end of his term that he brings a karban, he brings an offering, and it says it atones for him for his sin. What against which nefesh, against which person did he sin? Why did he sin? By becoming a Nazir. So says the Gemara, because he pained himself by refraining from drinking wine. He didn't partake in one of the joys of Hashem's world. And not only that, but he pained himself. So by painting himself, he has seemingly transgressed something that needs atonement. And says the Gemara about Dvarim Kal V'chomer. So it's a Kal V'chomer, it's a fortiori, it's all the more so. If a person who only restrained from wine is called a sinner, a person who restrains from all things, all the more so that he's a sinner. If a person fasts, if even for restraining from wine one is called a sinner, so from fasting from everything one should be called a sinner. So it says Shmuel, a person who fasts, it's called a choteh, is a sinner. Now he's not necessarily telling you not to do it, but you're called a sinner. Rabbi Elazar Omer Nikra Kadosh. Rabbi Elazar says that the Nazir is called Kadosh. He's called holy. Shenamar, he's talking about the fast. Someone who fasts is called Kadosh, is called holy. And his proof is also from the Nazir. Shenamar, Kadosh yeh Gadol Pera Sarosha. The Nazir, the one who grows his hair, is Kadosh, is holy. Umazeh shelo tzir atzma ela midavar echad nikra kadosh. So says Rabbi Elazar, why is he kadosh? Why is he holy? Because he refrained from the enjoyments of this world. So someone who only refrained from one of the enjoyments, or abstained from one of the enjoyments, meaning wine, is called kadosh, is called holy. Someone who restrains from everything, so he fasts, all the more so that he's holy. So he says he's called holy. So now let's go back to Shmuel. So Shmuel, who said he's a sinner, Shmuel, the Torah calls him holy. So what are you going to say to that? Why are you saying he's a sinner? Says Shmuel, Hahu Agidol Parakai. That's talking about the hair. The one who grows his hair is holy, meaning his hair has a level of holiness to it. And maybe has certain laws that pertain to it, but it's going on the fact that he grew his hair, and maybe the hair itself is considered holy. But the Nazir himself is a sinner for abstaining from the enjoyments of this world, and so too someone who fasts. And what's Rabbi Elazar going to say? Rabbi Elazar says he's a kadosh, he's holy. But Rabbi Elazar, what about the fact that he has to bring a karban asher chata nefesh because he sinned? What's his sin? Says Rabbi Elazar, Ahu desa'iv nafshe.